Yes. Hey, everybody. Anime Night here, and I'm with my co-host, my good friend, Silent Joker. We have a ton of news tonight.
There's a
First and
lot of news.
yes, first and foremost, rest in peace, Val Kilmer. I heard the news last night. I thought it was an April Fool's joke because it
I
was the
thought it was a joke
worst.
too as well, because
Because sometimes, for whatever wicked reason, every time April Fool's rolls around, there's a celebrity death. And it's like, wait a minute. And then all day, it turns out to be a fluke, like a fake. But sorry, a fake, not fluke, fake.
I'm like last year, different month ago, some of the months, my dad's like, "Is Morgan Freeman dead?" I'm like, "Where are you hearing this from? Facebook? It's probably not true because no one else is reporting on it. It's fake. It's a hoax." But Val Kilmer, when that kind of went around, and I do follow a few different celebrities too as well. One of them follows me as well. When I saw Stefan retweet something out for Val, I'm like, oh, he's one of those directors I follow, and I'm like, God damn it, no. If he's retweeting that, then it is serious. Then it's like too young, 65, too young. So,
Yeah, I was pretty shocked because Val Kilmer is probably one of my favorite actors out there. I loved Heat. Well, never stop.
yeah.
I probably watched that film like 12 times until I burnt the
Woo!
VHS. Until I burnt the VHS out. I
Oh,
wore
that's
that in
even worse.
I'm like, damn it. um, I loved it. I loved his take on Batman. I loved it. Um, just an all around actor. I heard he was making a comeback though. I heard he was making a comeback.
Yes, he was back in Top Gun Maverick after he was cured of his tongue cancer. So thankfully, we got that heartfelt scene with Iceman and Maverick when you just see him in the wheelchair and everything. It's like, but then it's like, oh, it's Val. He came back. This was wonderful. And then he's on the keyboard and everything. I was like, I want to talk about the mission. And his only line is that film when he gets up, heartfelt seeing everything. It's like, between the two of us, who was the better pilot? Not only is Tom laughing, but you're laughing too, because I'm like, of course, Iceman would ask that question. Of course. But then
Hey, California.
in Top Gun Maverick, eventually the character is killed off screen, well, dies off screen, and now it's going to be very hard to look at that scene even more now, since like the last time these two gentlemen have acted together, and he was trying to come back, trying to see if he still got it, but goddamn.
Did they
It's funny
say
enough, I was watching Heat last night actually when the news happened. I'm cursed. I gotta be cursed or something because it's watching Doctor No and God damn it, the original James Bond passed away. I'm watching Attack on Clones, Christopher Lee died. Watching the Golden Age arc Berserk, Kentaro Miura passes away without anybody even noticing until they broke the news by Dark Horse. I'm like, and now Val Kilmer's dead. I'm cursed. I gotta be cursed or something. I gotta be cursed or something because I'm like, wow. But then again, that's just the supernatural, superstitious. I'm like, god damn. Even my coworker, he said last week he was watching Saint, one of his favorite movies of all time, Saint with Val Kilmer in it. Like he was just watching that last week, and then now Val is dead. Oh, which movie, Kermit? Which movie?
which one? Which Val Kilmer movie did you watch,
I gotta
bud?
know. I gotta know. I gotta know. Yeah, but Val, one of the greats.
Yeah, he was
It's not
also in
underrated.
he was actually in Tombstone. I remember that one. That one was
I'm
pretty funny.
your Huckleberry. Yep.
Um,
Also, Prince of Egypt. Don't forget, one of the best
oh
animation movies of all time.
yes,
Moses. Don't at me, people. That is one of the best animation movies out there. As Moses, oh my god damn, we lost Moses. Lost Mo- The Ghost in the Darkness. I have yet. Did I watch? I don't think I watched that. That's news to me. So now I will put that on the list. A big, massive list that just keeps growing every single year. I'm like, I got a lot of films to watch before I die. But man, we lost another Batman. We lost a great man that night. We did. I'm like, man, just hurts. Sucks, man.
yes, it
But
does.
Val, you're in a better place now. We'll miss you, brother. We'll miss you.
Yeah, let's see. He due to ammonia. It was ammonia from after battling throat cancer. Man, it's like it's just like every time you beat cancer, it throws you like right there in your face. Like, you think you got rid of me? But bad joke aside, he was great as Moses in the Prince of Egypt. He was really fantastic. Loved it. Loved that movie. That is probably the only movie out of the whole thing that I enjoyed, and I'm glad that was DreamWorks, wasn't it?
Yes, that was DreamWorks.
Okay, I'm trying very careful not to say Disney because I always confuse the two because of the style and everything. The like because it's 2D animation, so it's kind of hard. Because back in those days, it's kind of hard to tell which is DreamWorks and which is Disney. It was a bit more difficult back then. Um, but now that I'm older, like I subtly see the differences and what stories they tackle and everything. And when it comes to like different culture one, it's you can actually see a difference because they actually got the Egyptians right. Like they got the color same with um uh Road to El Dorado. Oh wait, no, wait, that was that Disney?
Nope,
Because
that's
I know
DreamWorks.
okay, so yeah, because I feel like with Road to El Dorado and Prince of Egypt, they got it right. When Disney goes and does it, they get it halfway. Except Mulan was like a lightning in a bottle right there, and Atlantis: The Lost Empire, and Pocahontas. So they managed to get it right when they really hit and everything in terms of like culture, what they look like and everything. Now they can't even do that nowadays. They had the perfect formula back then. They got it right to a degree. Now they just don't care. But we're deeply saddened to hear about Val Kilmer passing away. Me and Joker, we really wish, like everybody else, it was just a bad April Fool's joke.
We
Because
thought it was.
we thought it was because I saw it because I ended my stream. I ended my RoboCop stream last night, and I saw on Twitter Val Kilmer passes away, and it said 3 hours ago. And I look, it's like I want to say 1, 2 o'clock in the morning at my time, and I'm like, it dawned on me. I'm like, yesterday was April Fool's Day. That should have been taken down. If it was a bad April Fool's joke, it would have been gone, like, omitted from the whole thing. But upon double checking this morning on my way to work, it was real, and my heart sank throughout the whole day. What a wonderful legend. We're gonna miss this man because he earned his flowers, ladies and gentlemen. He earned his flowers.
Every year we keep losing them. Like they're not. There's only a handful left.
Yeah, there's
Hopefully, a few of
only
them that are still left, please stay with us just a bit longer. Still, please, please. It's gonna be a day once. Who did Sunflower say? Who did Jasmine say? It's gonna be one of those days when one of the other big actors passes away. That
Oh, I think it was Michael Keaton or
Keen, it was somebody else. But did it
uh
start with a D?
Denzel Washington.
Or not? Oh, that's gonna hit me the most because Denzel's my favorite.
Mhm.
I will
Uh
watch that film, Kermit. He was one of the. It's either with a B or something. Someone who was Val. No, not Val. Val just passed away. I can't remember the name, but I'll
I
probably
can't
find it one of
remember
these
it.
days. But Mel Brooks, there you go, Mel
Mel
Brooks.
Brooks. Oh my god,
There he is.
that's gonna hit. That
That's
is
going to
gonna.
hit everybody when Brooks is going. But
Well,
I
he
mean,
has time to write. He has time to direct one more film. He has time. Get it
you have
out
time
there.
now. Get it in, get it out, retire. That's how you do it.
Eh,
But uh, Mr. Brooks, for everybody else who has known Val, all of his friends, co-workers, his friends, his family, those of you who are lucky enough to have met him, my heart goes out to you. Everybody is going to miss the great Val Kilmer. And because they're doing the Heat prequel with Adam Driver and hold on, and uh, Austin Butler, there will be a tribute for Val Kilmer in the end. It will be in memory for Val Kilmer. So
yes, I agree, and I just love what he does. Um. Oh yeah, Jackie Chan.
okay,
What am I'll give it a look too.
I'll give it a watch. I will give it a watch. So anyway, we got to move on. But lo and behold, what the gaming community started off with the positive, but ended more on the mix. Are you ready for in June? Nintendo Switch 2.
Oh,
There is a
dear.
whole shit ton to talk about. But we'll
Yes,
probably give you
we
the brief PowerPoints when we find it because there's a lot to take in. On a positive note, we finally got Silk Song. It's coming out this year, so
yes, we got we predicted it.
I
We
said I'm gonna see it at. I said like it's gonna be at one of these big panels events. We'll probably get it this year or next year, and no, here it is. Here it is. Okay, we will talk about that because I'm going to start off with the negative while you find the information. So, according right now, what's going around, they're still doing both digital and physical games. The problem is, digital has been bumped up to $80. $80, folks. That's an 8 and a 0, and me going, wait, what? 80 bucks for a digital copy now? Come on. What's going on? And some of these physical copies, some of them are at 70. Okay. I don't like that. Again, I'll agree. I'm not paying 80 bucks for a game. But some of them, like the new Mario game that's coming out, 90 bucks. $90. 90 for a physical. First of all, digital is meant to be cheaper than the physical. So why are we going $80? Huh? Like why are we going 80? Why are some of these games now going for 80 bucks to 90 bucks? The 70 in price increase was already frustrating enough. Now you're telling me, literally, what Ubisoft said many years ago. Get used to not owning your digital games. Well, Nintendo, you just took a page from their books, charging $80 for digital and
yeah,
90 for physical.
I
That's
found
a
it.
big that's a big FU to the consumer right there because this hobby is exploding. Like, how are we going to pay for the new Zelda game title when they do make one that isn't just Tears of the Kingdom, re-release all the stuff? So, not a new Mario World, a new Mario Kart game, a new Mario Kart game.
Yeah. Um. So
Nope, no
apparently,
word yet. Those are going to take time.
yeah. So apparently, Nintendo has announced the launch of the Switch 2 set for June 5th, which is 2 months away. Which is 3 months away, actually. Sorry. I'm counting this month, May and June. So, 3 months. The price with a base price of $449 or $499 when bundled with Mario Kart. Okay, that makes that makes sense to it.
But separately, it's like so Mario Kart costs us $90.
Actually, that should be 50. That should be $50.
That should be 50.
Somebody fucked up. Somebody
It should be
really
50.
fucked up. There's an error there, Nintendo. There's an error.
Did
There's an
somebody
error.
mess up?
Did somebody forgot to count their nut? Did somebody forget basic math? Did we forget basic math here?
I mean, Kermit is right. Some people do have their own Switch games as well, and I'm told they are backwards compatibility. So, again, that is great and wonderful. Look at the PS5 again, and even the Xbox Series. These
Hey, here you
consoles are
stand.
starting to become more and more backwards compatibility. So that's a good thing. I can play all my PS4 games on the PS5 without having to do that full massive upgrade. Unless if you did not have the original version, you can always buy the new one right away, or again find a cheap copy and then pay a couple of them more like $10. So that's not too bad to get the full upgrades. Or again, you can still buy the original copies or get the new copy. So again,
The
that is
original,
fine.
the original
Yep,
Nintendo Switch. I still have mine.
yep.
I still have mine.
But the
Uh,
upgrade console is actually a pretty good thing, so that's very wonderful. And again, with their micro XD cards and everything, you could still get a full terabyte for your Switch 2, and then be like, I'm good for a while.
yeah,
So, and
you're good for a while, and
as someone who does not have a Switch, this is what I kept saying. This is what I've been waiting for completely. I knew they were going to upgrade the console eventually. Only took them many, many years after everybody kept saying that some of their consoles were breaking. Hell, even like the storage and everything. Like look at Xenoblade Chronicles 3. That is a beautiful game on a very, very small cartridge. Like, what are these tech wizards over there for Monolith that can get a beautiful game like that on the Switch too? On the Switch, I'm like, wow,
yeah,
that's impressive.
there's the Switch too, by the way.
Looks good.
Speaking of sunflowers, there she is. Hey, sunflower.
And I'm told, or at least some reports are coming out saying that the battery life for the Switch 2 is somehow worse than the original Switch. So take that with a grain of salt. That could just be hearsay or people not really exploring the console quite yet. Because who really has the development kits right now? So you're going to see a lot of stuff come out that could be false, that could be, again, fixed later down the line. So take a lot of this with a grain of salt. So I'm going to say the battery life. I need to have this for myself, and then you and I will compare that and be like, what's your battery life on that Switch over there on some of the other models versus Switch 2? Again, they keep the same design. It looks more sleek. It looks a little bit more better. I like the Pro controller. I'm like, yeah. I might get a Switch 2 because I never had a Switch, and it very much would make my parents happy because it's one thing I have my teen rated M rated games on my PS5 uh, that they might
Hey,
go,
Xavier.
and thank you, yeah, rest in peace, Val. That they might kind of eyebrow me for a little bit, or like, why don't I play stuff for? It's still gonna be Heat and the Prince of Egypt. Those are my favorite, Val. Those are my favorite. Of course, Top Gun. Top Gun, always got to put Top Gun up there. Gotta
I
watch
I
Saints
love the
eventually.
love the Batman one. I loved it. I loved him in that one.
And Eagle did say that
He
he's
is my
probably the
all-time
best.
favorite.
And Eagle
And
Rider has said that he's the best Batman and Bruce Wayne because he's the one who did nail both personas correctly. So sad he never continued Batman, but even for that one Batman movie, he's a contender for some of the best stuff if he had some better written stuff as well. But again, ooh,
yeah,
ooh,
that's a
first set.
that's a classic.
I gotta watch that. Again, people, you're adding the list of films that I gotta watch so many films before I die. So it's
So
growing.
speaking of
It's
which,
growing.
speaking of which, Joker, this is back in our time, back when we were growing up, when the PlayStation and the Nintendo 64 were coming out. This was the price back then. And to be honest
Affordable.
with you, I'm missing this. I am missing these prices. We owe these
I
prices like
had the PS2 era for myself, so mine. I think the PS2 was around $200, but that also gave you like 8 megabytes of memory. Again, megabytes of memory, folks. Megabytes, not gigabytes. Megabytes. Back in the
yeah,
day,
megabytes. Oh,
you could fit a
what's that
bunch of
speak?
games
What's
on
that
there.
speak there?
I
Yeah,
mean, this
these.
is how you get a lot of games on your cartridge that would fill up quickly that you
I
would
mean, I
delete.
would happily buy. I would happily buy Mario Kart for $60 right now at this price. See, Nintendo, you had it correct. You had it correct back in the
Every
day.
company had it correctly, but the issue we have is we cannot afford $70. Someone's going to say, yes, you can, but the hobby is getting expensive. Every hobby you try to get into, doesn't matter, it's big, small, like try collecting some of this stuff. The nicer the figure you get, the more expensive it's going to be. Just remember that. Even my your one up there, it was nice, but it was like $10 to $15. So I'm like, oh, I can see why it's 10 to 15. So a little bit. So,
I
and
think
that's depending on what you're getting.
My Shishomaru Jokin that's still in box Joker. It's
Mhm.
going for a pretty penny. I found it at a thrift store for $42. That was my first figure right there, and I got dumb lucky. I'm like, wow, I just saved a ton of money. So
It's the hobbies are getting expensive. Might argue, yeah, Xavier's right. As a fellow cosplayer, we has two fellow cosplayers. Depending on what you're going for, whether you're hand making stuff or if you are a professional cosplayer that will do commission work, all the different measurements, all the material you have to get, that is expensive as well. Or if some cosplays are pre-made, ready to go, like my Yuffie Moogle outfit, that's pre-made, that's already set and ready to go. Was that an affordable price, really? Was that very much an affordable price? And it fits very well, and it's a costume that gets a lot of looks. Everything is expensive. Yes, Shiny Eve is also correct that you can budget stuff very nicely.
yeah,
You
that's what I
can, but
did. That's what I did for my Android 17 cosplay. I just budgeted it, and actually the sniper mask one, I just bought the mask, the shirt, the jacket, the pants at the store, but it worked.
there's even some characters that are really basic to do are actually some of the more affordable ones, like Gojo in the school uniform.
Oh,
That's just a white.
I'm
That's just
gonna
like a white polo
try.
T-shirt or just a normal white T-shirt. Get some pants and get some shoes, and then everybody's got a tie and everything around. So I got a tie that could easily match that. And it's like all I need is the shirt and the pants, and then
Actually,
wear
sniper.
whatever shoes I want, and then I'm Gojo. I already have my black hair, so most of my anime characters I want to cosplay have black hair. So I'm like, I don't need a wig. I'm good to
Yeah,
go.
yes. In terms of easy to throw, I think the Trunks one. the Riddler, my Android 17, and Sniper Mask are my 4 easiest ones I've done. The Sniper Mask one was a lot of fun to shop. That was a lot of fun. I had a great time. There was the suit jacket that I got. It was at Goodwill. When they scratched off the price, when I saw it, it was $105 suit jacket. I only got that for 30.
Hmm.
So it's easy to budget, ladies and gentlemen, if you know what you are going for. Like Joker
Even
said,
stuff like with
it,
Bayek's family, like when you take a look at what they're wearing, like you know what, that's pretty easy to do actually.
it's so basic, it's so easy.
Yet it works.
You could walk over to the store and get the outfit and do that.
Like
But if
your
you're
casual outfit that she wears around at home with her, her red sweater and stuff. Even when you look at Lloyd, like again, that's a green tuxedo. Like, is it a tuxedo he wears or just like a green jacket? Like, stuff is more common. Like the common stuff you can find is like this could work. Like this could work. But everyone's got like
I'm
a
gonna
very
try
nice
and
budget. There's nice budget stuff. Like if you budget correctly, you can make stuff look expensive or not expensive. Sure, some people can spend 1,000 stuff because depending on what they want to wear, could go elsewhere. Like look at some of your props. Look how expensive props can be.
oh
So it's like,
I
ooh,
got
that
I
could be a
got
lot of money. How much
yeah
was
that
that sniper of yours? Did you get the sniper yet, or still waiting on that?
I truth be told, until they get rid of that fucking gun thing, I cannot buy it. But everybody, but
What
it's
about
to
Nerf
my
gun? You can always bring in a Nerf gun and be like and everything. So really, not even Nerf guns,
yep,
as in the actual toy manufacturer called Nerf.
yep.
It's a Nerf gun. What?
You're
I
telling me
understand. I understand. The world is not what it once was, and it's good to be on alert for stuff. Understandable.
yes, we get it. It's just
But no, who's gonna bring in the case? Really, really, who's gonna bring in the case?
luckily, but it's a silver lining, Joker. People still know who I am, like who I'm cosplaying as. So
Yep.
it worked at least. It worked. So I'm happy because my roommate looked at me and she's like, "You do realize that's gonna be a bit difficult for people to know who you are." And when I told her that like 13 different people recognized who I was, she was like, I stand corrected. I am gonna try and debut a new one this year. I'm gonna try. I can't do it for Game On, but I could probably wing it for Fan Fusion. And I know exactly who I'm going for. It's from Demon Slayer, but I'm gonna leave it at that. So anyway, the Nintendo Switch 2, it looks good. I like it. Though the price needs to be fixed. Because the only way it would be $499 is if you make the um is if you do like $300 for the base. No, it's correction. $400 for the base, and then $499 with the bundle.
I mean, they got to make money somehow. Like
Yes.
bundle a bunch of different games in there. If people want to buy it right away, or like that's an easy game you could get for somebody. I mean, we've seen game bundles for every generation. I remember getting the PS2 for Christmas thanks to my sister because she wanted the PS2, not me. I didn't even know what a PS2 was until I saw it. The bundle that my dad got, at least, was the classic, was base PS2 along with the Spyro collection. So, got the first 3 games. Although for whatever reason, the cartridge never wanted to save the any of the Spyro games. So if you turn off the PS2, you literally, Like seriously, I did not know what it was. Like it kept saying could not detect PS2, could not detect memory card. I'm like, we have the memory card in there. Like, is this a bug or something, or was it just a manufacturer error?
Oh, I
Like,
think let me guess. You played Enter the Dragonfly, didn't you?
no, both. No, all three. The original
Really?
Spiral, Rift to Rage, and Enter the Dragonfly. All three of classic Insomniac games could not save on the PS2 memory card. I'm like, it's like it kept saying could not detect PS2, could not detect memory card. I'm like, I have the memory card in here on my PS2. It's backwards compatibility. Why won't you save?
Oh, the struggles back in our day. Oh,
No, I,
what?
I, I did that. Like blue, like for whatever reason, it could not save. So I think the furthest for Enter the Dragonfly I ever got was literally the final levels, like the final world levels that you have to do. That's the furthest I ever got, and then after that, it just again with the bunny and everything, the rabbit would get stuff. So or like people not putting back in stuff got a lot of scratched up. So I literally could do no more levels outside the first hub area. Heck, you could even do Tiki, the water world, the cloud world. I was literally stuck doing the kangaroo level and the European or the Greek level. That's about it. I couldn't do anything for Into the Dragonfly. Ripto's Rage, I think it went all the way up to the second main boss battle with Crush, and that was it. What about the original Spiral? Pfft, I can't even remember. I think that was the most fine one because I got all the way up to Ripto, but because I didn't have 100 dragons, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. That's why back on my channel, when I did play all the Spyro games, I'm like, oh, I don't know what to expect, so here I go. So it's because it's been eons. It's been eons with all that stuff. But going back to the Switch 2 news, I think the hardware is much more powerful now. I think they've said it's around the PS4 Pro ish, but the specs are good. People are saying the specs are looking really good. So again, Nintendo with a powerful hardware, this is what you need the most. So games don't look crappy like Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch.
Oh, I was watching a playthrough of that. Oh, that did not go good.
Whose bright idea was to put a game engine, let alone a game engine that they keep? Well, I think this one is Unreal Engine 4 now. Or is that Unreal Engine 5? Let me double check. I got my PC right here, so let me just double check because I know for the longest time, mm, NetherRealm Studios was using Unreal Engine for the longest time for 3. So, MK1, there we go. I think this one was finally using Unreal Engine 4, at least. That's what I think they were using. Yep, they're finally using Unreal Engine 4. So, I mean, Unreal Engine 4 can run the Switch, but given how the graphic fidelity and the visuals were for MK1, it's like, yeah, you're not going to run this on the Switch without sacrificing a whole lot. And they sacrifice way, way too much. I was like, who okayed that? Who okayed that? That's what I want to know. I mean, you got your money in like main console and PC, so you didn't need it on the Switch. Or like some other games that just ran very poorly. Like Hogwarts Legacy was another nightmare that I've been told. Like it ran, but when compared to like even just the PS4 or even the PS4 Pro versions, it's like there's a big there's a big difference. So, but with the powerful hardware, I'm sure we'll get better games looking. There's a lot of cool games that were announced. Like there's a new Donkey Kong game, Mario Kart, another PVE from Softworks called Dusk Blood. So No, this is not Bloodborne 2, folks. This is not Bloodborne 2. Sony still owns that license, so you could say spiritual successor all you want. So there's like a multiplayer focused game that's coming out. But if I gotta be honest, I don't know if that's gonna work very well or not. In fact, if they're gonna do like a vampire project, C1 Attack looks to be more vampiric. They should just made a vampire game, honestly.
They should have. They should have just went with it. Um, but we're excited. We're
We're
not
so
like
excited. We're so happy.
we're moderately excited because we were hyped in the beginning, but after this, it's like we are
A
like
mixed bag. It's a very mixed bag
it's a very mixed bag. But
because going
hopefully
back when they
things.
moved back. Sorry, I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish.
But when things smooth out, and somebody please fix that damn price, because you're confusing everybody. Nintendo, you're confusing everybody with the prices here. You're really confusing us here. Because if you do the math, it doesn't make sense. Because how can
Because it
it
loops back
be?
to the hobbies. It loop back to the whole our hobbies are expensive. I
Yep,
get
it
it. Game
does.
development is expensive. 4 to 5, 6 long years in development. Again, hell, look at Bethesda with Elder Scrolls 6, still not out yet, and everything's still in the pre-production phase. To be fair, Bethesda, the main studio, only has like 4 offices out there, and they're pretty small or average, with a little bit over 400 plus employees. But if you look at ZeniMax, who all they own, again, you go like to Arcane and everything. Like, yeah, there's some companies that'll be bigger, but look at Bethesda. They like to work at one game at a time. And even with Starfield being finished and everything, it's like, well, Elder Scrolls 6 is still gonna be years and years away. But they announced that all the way back at the last few E3s. To be fair, so was a lot of different games. Look how long it took to get Kingdom Hearts 3 announced at the start of the seventh generation of consoles, came at the tail end of the generation. So it's like, well, development takes a long time. Even just planning things out. Like, you gotta get a dedicated team, you gotta create the tools, the assets, the engines gotta be modified heavily again. So things take time. And we get it. Games are expensive. So, but that $70, $80 price tag better be worth it,
Yeah, because
because if things are broken, people are going to say, I just spent $80 on a broken game. Look how many broken games are there these days that take multiple patches to come out. I remember playing Assassin's Creed Unity on my brand new PS4. Holy shit, was that game broken. Took
oh,
4 major patches. Hell, I remember being in a battle going, oh yeah, I'm such a badass. And then my attack button stops working. I'm like, I can't do anything.
like
I can
no,
only keep
no, not
die.
now, not now, not now,
And
please.
then I die. I'm like, and then like, oh, my attack button's finally working again. Or I jump really high in the air. I'm like, oh, there I go. And then I die. I'm like, well, this is a great game to have right now. Don't get me started on the multiplayer for Unity on launch day. That was
No.
or for like the first few couple big patches came out,
I
and then
remember
the
how
multiplayer
I
started
remember how
working.
pissed people were about that. I remember that.
That was a
Oh,
big
they
feature they were pushing because finally 4-player cooperative stuff with Assassin's Creed. I'm like, but man, that was not a good launch. Even nowadays, it's still getting worse. Some companies they're just getting away with it, and the old saying goes, "Speak with your wallet, call them out." And we know that's what Larian said. The small guys are gonna get picked on, while the higher ups are just gonna be like Val Kilmer with money going. There's gonna be Val Kilmer going, money. Is that money? They're just gonna be like, money. The guy from WWE. They're just gonna go, Vince McMahon going, I spent the money.
I said, hey,
And then they're gonna be Vince McMahon going, screw you. You're fired. You're fired. Thank you. Thank you. I will be here all week doing my fist finger. You're fired.
You're
It's gonna
fired.
be interesting by the end of the day on January 5th if it's gonna make a break Nintendo, because it's gonna sell like hotcakes. It's gonna be a lot of money. There's gonna be a lot of broken switches on day one again, just like last time. But this hobby of ours is getting expensive, and no, justifying 80, 90 to even $100 price tags, they're not worth it, especially when some games come from Nintendo again are taking examples from Sony. Some of them won't have a physical copy. You'll have to download a digital code. So you just bought a game thinking that's going to have a physical copy, and it's not there.
Yeah.
Great. Well done, guys. Even Bethesda did that with Fallout 76. You just buy the game, there's no disc. It's just a disc, and then you have to download the actual code. Like, really? Folks, this is not the way to do things. And again, it's what Ubisoft said. Get used to not owning your games? Well, this is becoming that future, a scary, dark future. Look at what the Sony hack happened. People trying to play single-player games, they couldn't even do it. If some of them owned it digitally, that is. Which is why owning physical is important. And to not have single-player games have online features.
Yes, that's what pissed me off. It's like, look, I understand leaderboards and everything for the Crash Bandicoot time trial one. Now, I understand that because it's fun to look. It's like, okay, where do I stack up against the world? Now, that's one thing, and I was fine with that. I'm like, oh, okay, I can live with that. And I mean, I like leaderboards are fun to watch. It's fun to watch, and but I do understand where you are coming from on that one, because why do we need look what happened with, Watch Dogs. They had that, didn't they?
Yes, they had that too as
That was
well.
bullshit, and one of the guns, you need that for an online you can unlock it through an online mission. It's like, why? Why can't I just complete a mission, hack everything perfectly without getting seen, and kill your
The
target?
reboot Hitman games also had unlocked block stuff if you weren't online for some of the assassinations. Like, why would you do that? Why? What?
I
Just what?
oh,
Deathloop
that
was
angers
another
me
one where you couldn't
so
play
bad.
online.
I
So
almost broke my controller.
we could be here listing examples, but this industry really is screwed, and hopefully people don't take this the wrong way. We like the hobby we like, but it is so damn expensive these days. So, and the more expensive it gets, the more people are just gonna say, "I'm gonna go indie," because the indie scenes will
Right?
boom. They will continue to
Watch,
boom.
it's gonna get bigger. I reckon by the end of this year, we're gonna see
You
a
will
lot.
see a shift in tone. We will see that shift in tone.
Yep. Because remember, we're still off the cusp of that radical shift in from the Game Awards. We're still off the cusp of this, ladies and gentlemen, and it's only going to continue. That being said, we are excited though for the Switch 2. It's going to look awesome. For those about to get it, we wish you luck and we hope for the best. I'm probably going to wait until I either get it for Christmas or birthday, what have you.
Probably Christmas or next year. So
Yeah,
we'll
I
see how.
want to, because the thing is, I got my Switch a little late, but better late than never. And it's like the refurbished one. It's not like the factory kind. It's like a brand new one. Because I'd rather get it when the first phases of like the updates and everything are patched. Because I don't like I don't like horrible surprises. I just want to plug in I just want to plug in, game, have fun with you guys, and that's it. That's what all we want to do, ladies and gentlemen. How hard is that? How hard of a concept is that to understand? Hey, Mad. Wow, this is a rare appearance. Hello, my dear friend. Hope you are good.
Ooh,
Uh,
Maddie.
so Joker, um,
And the GameCube titles are coming to Switch. That's
yes,
what
I
finally.
fell out of my chair.
Finally.
I fell out of my chair. I fell out of my chair seeing it, and I watched the trailer for it. I'm like, yo, yes. I'm like, yay. So
Now, Sony, give me more PS2 catalogs. I'll be good to go. And give me some PS3 games now on the catalog. And then it's like, we can finally play some games that are hidden on the PS3 that aren't just blocked by description.
exactly. And I looked at it and I'm like, help me. Uh so I'm pretty excited for what's coming. If we can get I know this is probably I know this is probably rumors of what's going to be on there, so we'll take this with a grain of salt. However, I am willing to throw down for Pokemon Coliseum. I am willing to throw. I'm
Both
willing to
Pokemon
throw.
games, go for it. And if they're
I'm
successful,
willing. I'm willing to throw down for Pokemon Coliseum. I will dust off my Elgato, fire up my Switch, and do it. I will fire that bastard up and do a stream of that. That'd be a good one actually to
I'll probably
stream.
race to Maddie and F-Zero GX. That'll be sweet. See if I
Oh,
can still.
that would be. You know what? What if they did? If they add Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, I am there. I am fucking there. Sign me up, because that's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite ones from that one. It's one of my favorite because I loved the music, the tone, the setting. I had so much fun on that. I could talk for hours on end about it, but we don't have that kind of time. But so on top of this, we finally got the GameCube because remember we had the Game Boy one, we had the Game Boy Colored one, the NES, SNES, the Sega Genesis, and we're like, okay, Nintendo, you've given us five different ports. Pull the trigger on the GameCube, and it'll be a six. It'll be a 6-star win for you. So I'm genuinely excited. I cannot wait for this to come out. Going to be a lot of fun. And I say it's about time. It's about time. Luigi's Mansion, I'm very excited for. Because I want to play that one before I play Luigi's Mansion 2. I haven't played that one yet. I want to go back to the first one, complete it. Uh, but I'm very, very happy though. Very happy with it. Um, I'm hoping for the best. It's gonna be interesting to see the game library for this. So I hope it's massive. I hope we get more of it. And I know all the people out there are like, but what about the physical? You have the physical console and everything. That is completely fine. You could still play it on the physical. You could still stream it and everything with the original Nintendo GameCube if you wish.
And
But
don't
for
forget,
people,
some of these now are really high prices. Like, I can only imagine how much Pokemon Coliseum XD are nowadays. Like,
yeah,
So good luck
Yeah,
trying to find.
you would have to go to like the game corner in Las Vegas on Las Vegas Boulevard, hidden behind the Mafia Hotel, trying to find a game a good priced Pokemon Coliseum. But joking aside, I'm Joker. Your thoughts on this? Go ahead.
I think it's great to have the GameCube titles back, so more people are, if they have yet to play some of these titles, or eventually will come to what I confirm. I think that will be great. Again, keep introducing people to these titles. Again, I wish they would bring back more titles to physical. Like, I would love to play Pokemon Coliseum XD on a physical copy for the Switch 2, but I'll still take digital. It's at least there until the store shuts down. But if it continues to work, we'll still see the Wii titles. I think the Wii titles are going to be around the corner eventually. So, and it's a model that does work. So, even if you say I have nothing to play, you can go back to older titles and see a completely different generation and feel for a lot of these companies.
Actually, I'm a cheap bitch, and I put some legendaries here and there in my personal favorites. Gengar. I always put him on my team. Um, Overall, Bolt a solid win for Nintendo on this one. They get it right every now and then, ladies and gentlemen. They get it right every now and then. So this is our credit. But people are like, "Well, but you were just trashing on them for the Nintendo Switch too." No, that's constructive criticism, and it's fair. We we call it for what we see it, but we also praise them for what they do right. This is one of those. Time and time again, ladies and gentlemen. It's not that difficult. But I'm genuinely excited. Hopefully we get more along the road and everything. So Joker, you sent me something that you were kind of miffed about. So we're talking about it, ladies and gentlemen. Apparent, apparently, Simpsons and Family Guy renewed for 4 more seasons.
And then will be another four, and then another four. At the end of it all, I truly believe these shows they have gone on long enough. Bob's Burgers they get their movie, which was very funny. It was very great. I know American Dad has been going on for a long time too. I know TBS stopped airing shows at least now for at least American Dad, so now they're finding a new place to put their shows back on again. I know I don't know if it was a joke or not, but I think Comedy Central is also getting some Family Guy episodes, so I'm like, that's fine. But when you truly think how long a lot of these shows were going on for, especially The Simpsons, and these cast members are getting old, I can hear it in Marge's voice where she's not getting there no more. You could either one find a good replacement who can pretty much do the voice for Marge, and then make her the new Marge Simpsons, or please, for the love of God, just end it, Mr. Reading. Please, Matt. Please, Fox. He's just looking at me at the dying horse, going, "No, just end it. It's dead. Why? Why?" But, uh,
So apparently, so what's happening here? Fox has renewed The Simpsons, Family Guy, Bob's Burgers, and American Dad for 4 additional seasons in a significant deal with Disney TV Studios, extending these animated series through the 2028-2029 TV season. The Simpsons will reach its 40th season, sparking a mixed reaction among fans. Some express
40,
skepticism.
40, 40.
I
Yeah.
know. I
And
know.
Groot was only 50. And Groot was only Baby Yoda's only 50. Even he's upset. It's like it's
I yeah, look at that sad face. How can you argue with that sad face? um, some express skepticism about the show's continued relevancy and quality, while others feel a nostalgic attachment, suggesting it might never end. Family Guy receives mixed reviews, with some fans believing it has outshone The Simpsons recently, though others feel its humor has declined. Discussions also touched on the aging cast of The Simpsons, with concerns about the show's future as the voice actors age. Despite criticisms, there's a general appreciation for the longevity and cultural impact of these shows. So, this is a lot to unpack. This is a lot to unpack here. On the one hand, I like Family Guy and Simpsons and Bob's Burgers. The difference between them and Archer knew when to stop. Like knew when to stop. Because all we're getting now is reruns. And that's completely fine. I love Archer. But
and I
where
enjoyed watching Archer for a little bit when it was still on Netflix before the Disney buyout, and then everybody started pulling this stuff from Netflix. And I will tell you, Archer does have a plot. It was very funny. I love the Cowboy Bebop reference for the intro. Thank you very much. Very funny gags. Even the first season, I'm like, this is a really funny show. I should have kept watching it. And they knew when to end. Technically speaking, they kept changing time periods throughout the season, so you can never really guess which period where they were in. Sometimes they had tablets, sometimes they had phones. Other times they went back to the classic mafia. But my Tommy gun doesn't forgive you. I'm like, eh. But it knew when to end nicely and when to have a good farewell. Even Futurama, even though that is back right nowadays, I still like the fact that even though when Comedy Central did save it for a little bit, at least still that final episode was like, all right, they're gonna do the time loop again, but it's okay. It's still a good, satisfying ending. Fry and Lisa are finally together now, and they would do all over again for each other. That was nice. That was really sweet.
I agree. And and I feel like with the Simpsons movie, I are and also the Proud Family.
The Proud
Proud
Family had its time, but we're not talking about Louder because that's just an no.
Now
Nope.
here's the
Not doing it.
now here's the thing. The Proud Family ended with their big movie premiere. They ended it right there. Penny Proud turned 16. Her father respects her and sees her as a growing woman.
Young
She's
independent woman.
young independent woman. Thank you. Thank you. Um I say I can't think of a better way to end it. Also, Ed, and Eddie knew when to end the big picture show that
Granted,
kept
the school season, I'm still mixed about the school season, but
I I
when they
it,
went to
it
the more
it's
fall
moments.
stuff, it's
It
like
does have good
okay, it
moments.
had some good moments, but the movie was a big nice thank you, farewell. We finally got to see finally see Triple D's brother for the first time ever, and it's like, so is this why he's been acting all the same? A lot of character development finally ended. Some door closes, and I did like the very much fact that when you saw Eddie's brother, it really made you think about Eddie as a character, but also, he's not as bad as we think we are. And all the kids finally have respect for each other. They finally do. And Double D's like, and it only took this many episodes to do it and everything. It's like, yep, that's great.
But you
And the
see,
Sisters has it. But if you do want a sequel series, there is an actual fan made series
I agree,
that
Eagle.
them many, many years later in teenager years, and it's actually pretty good actress called Shelby Oaks. I will link you that video later so you can watch it. But it does take its time, and it feels like something proper that you can probably see on Adult Swim late at night. But for a show that ended, it was a nice send off, and years later, a fans is giving us a nice spiritual successor. That feels wonderful. That's wonderful. K&D. Here's the thing about K&D, the creator and writer for that show, when writing the finale, he made the he I can't remember the quote exactly, but he said when he wrote the finale, he said it was like as of writing for my own children. Because when you think about it, we've been with Sectors 5. Sector 5, right?
Yeah, Sector 5.
For so many different funny gags, episodes. Number one, maturing over the years. The kids being an actual team. We've seen the moon base go from
I
different
I
leaders
I
from a kid
remember.
to father. Yes, I am a kid. But that's also because it was number 4 saying, "Yep, that's my brother." But also, you forgot now father is a member of K&D. Oh, that's my brother.
What this all means, ladies and gentlemen.
There's a way to end it nicely, and K&D ended so nicely that it's like, well then, that's a wonderful finale. Did we answer your question? Yes. Now I know where he is. The reveal that it was father who was interviewing the adults of the Sector 5 kids, I'm like, oh my god! Oh my god! It was funny. And then the phone call, it's like Abby's like, oh, and welcome back, number 1. I'm like,
Oh,
oh.
seeing the voice actors in the in the real world sequence, that was really cool. I like it when they
Although
do
technically
that.
speaking, it's real. I mean, is it them? Is it really not them? Because you don't see Benjamin Diskin. If you're saying, wait, that was Ben. Yeah, Ben was number 1.
Mhm.
So where was he at?
Yeah. I think he was probably the man on the phone. I suspect he's the one on the phone that number 5 was talking to in the
She
real
did say,
world.
and welcome back, number 1.
So, that leaves it to the imagination. It could be him on the other side of that phone.
It was him. She said, welcome back, number 1.
Uh,
We just don't see him. Is he still? But they probably would have found somebody nice to play an older version of number 1. So now, did K&D have, like, I don't know, like that's news to me. If K&D ever got a sequel, or was planned on a
they
sequel.
they were gonna do the Galactic Kids Next Door.
Right.
It was referenced towards the end of that big special. It was going to happen, but it got canned completely.
Wow.
Yes, and it's a sad blessing because on the but looking back at it years later, Joker, do we really needed Galactic Kids Next Door?
I don't think we needed Galactic Kids Next Door. Would have worked maybe, but if you
Again, it depends on the director, the storyboard writers, and the willingness of some of the actors.
Hello.
Ah, Eagle, you
First
need the
statement: Simpsons has been absolute garbage since they went high def at season 20. They should be and
Yep.
ended decades ago. Anyway, sorry, I had to say that part right off the bat. And then I
think they've
have to
gone
bring back
long
to the
enough.
beginning
I think
and
it's time to
absolute
properly
heartbreak
end
of Val Kilmer.
it.
You don't know his history, both his acting history, first of all, but also if you know much about his connection with the tribes and stuff, he's got honorary membership to multiple tribes. He was believed to probably be native, but they couldn't prove it because how many adoptions and failed records there were in his family. And a lot of tribes accepted him as one of them. But he also did so much for Native community while still being right in the center and friendly to everyone and such a sweetheart, you know? But I don't know if you guys know what happened with Psych and Val Kilmer.
No, we do not.
Oh, okay. James Rade, the one who played Spencer in Psych, was a huge Val Kilmer fan. Right before the show started, he ran into Val Kilmer while he was setting up to record, and he had a complete fan meltdown to the point where he actually scared Kilmer, and Kilmer got a restraining order.
Oh, boy.
Oh no!
It actually gets better on this too, because even after that, he still praised Val Kilmer and made comments about him in his movies all the way through the series. At the end of the series, he found something out. Val Kilmer had figured it was he had mental issues. He freaked out at somebody acting that way around him, but as he said, I was too hard on the kid. So he actually had the restraining order removed and didn't tell him. He showed up on set the day they were filming the finale of the show and offered to do a walk-on for him. And so he's actually in the last episode of the Psych series as one of the guys working in the police station. And actually took James out after that and made up with him.
Oh, wow. That was very nice of him. That was very nice.
That's the thing. Things like that. Even when somebody freaked him out, he was still willing to come in and be a nice guy to him after, you know? And that's one of the things, part of why you were talking about Val Kilmer's passing. I had to share a few things because when they did Thunderheart, he actually went down and stayed on the res for a while. He actually did a bunch of charity work, helping out women in the tribe and stuff like that. He was always this sweetheart to everyone who worked with him. And that's why it's just like, yeah, way too freaking young, especially for somebody as amazing as him, you know?
Yeah, because at first, everybody thought, myself and Joker too, we thought it was just a bad April Fool's joke, like what we're used to seeing. Like, oh crap. However, after checking again this morning, it was real, and I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, that one. Like I said, you know how much I talk about loving Val Kilmer, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
How many times have I talked about that over the years you've known me?
Enough to make a damn video about.
And I'm not as much of an obsessed Val Kilmer fan as my brother was. So when they first released The Prince of Egypt, and you know, Val Kilmer is one of the main voice actors in it, we had our TV playing on the other end of this long living room at the house we were living in at that time. And it was on a quiet volume way in the background. We're on the opposite end of the room with sound going, messing around on the computer. My brother's there. They played the ad, and his head jerked up. I heard Val Kilmer, and he jumped over the couch to see what they were advertising.
Wow.
And that was the connection. So it's like, we grew up obsessed with Mad Mardigan. We obsessed with all these Kilmer roles. And it's like a little gut punch here, you know? But I had to come in and say a tribute to him. And give a few of the stories I know about him of how just kind he was to everybody. But the psych one blows my mind because Rade absolutely humiliated himself. And absolutely, he didn't even blame Val for it. He said, I was so over the top excited, I would have run away and gotten one. And he said, but the day he showed up on set and offered to do a part, they actually rewrote part of the script on the fly to work him into the story. And then he ends up giving him a letter basically saying how much he loves him and he's always considered him a father figure in his life. That was real.
Wow.
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 And that was worked into the plot so he could do that tribute to Val. So, wow. I had to say something because I don't know when I'm going to be able to get videos done with everything that's going on with me, but I have to say something in tribute to him because he is so amazing.
Hey guys,
Hi.
Hey, Skyhound, how are you, buddy?
doing all right. Anyway, as I just pointed out in the comments, though, a while ago, I also did my own quick reaction to it. I know a bunch of others have as well. But now that I think about it, I wanted to share something real quick, though, from Instagram real quick. Let me just try to see if I can share my screen really quick. Hang on.
But yeah,
let me
kill
pull that
those
down.
damn shows. Literally, they should not be being renewed over and over. They've lost
Fire
everything
with
they had
fire.
for their fans long ago.
Yeah.
So as I said with as I said with one of my comments a while ago, this is the guy, Keith Sings. That is the actor who is in Lightspeed Rescue, who played the Green Ranger. He got a chance to work with Val Kilmer on this particular film. I think that's the actual the hashtag might be the actual film. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I just found out about it.
Might be. I'd have to verify it, but
Yeah. But for those who recognize this film, likely would be able to cite it just as easily. But again, the late Val Kilmer, may he rest in peace. He's been in a bunch of films that we know of. And then there's others that some listed in articles that either I've heard of in passing or I've never heard of at all.
he was a chameleon in his acting and in his mental health, which means he picked up a personality and identity of the characters he was playing.
Oh,
Joanna
yeah,
told a
for sure.
story about him literally declaring himself the greatest swordsman to ever live at a party and acting serious about it after they finished filming Willow.
Yeah, there's a lot of Willow
The
fans
Ghost
that
in
were
the
likely
Darkness
disappointed when
and
he
the
passed.
Saint, he actually had mental health issues after doing them because of how severe they were as movies.
Oh,
Ghost in Darkness for obvious reasons, and the Saint because it was a chameleon playing a chameleon with severe trauma.
whoa.
That's kind of a meta thing. But he had actually, ended up with therapy from filming those two movies. And he actually talked about it in some interviews. And I always respected him because he had a lot more issues and struggles than most people realize because he always worked hard. He was always active. He was always bigger than life, no matter what he was going through.
Yeah.
And that's part of what I think made him so, amazing. You know what I mean? He didn't act like he was dealing with all this stuff. He didn't act like he had all these personal struggles and medical struggles. He acted happy and joyous and taking care of others and this loving guy. And I think in a lot of ways, he had the likability to everyone that Robin Williams had. Everyone that I know on all sides loved him.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Also, side note, I didn't realize at the time, but the original actor who played the Emperor Palpatine in the OG Empire Strikes Back, before they replaced him with the other British actor who was in Return of the Jedi, Clive Revel, he passed away on March 11th.
Oh.
That was Alfred in the animated series.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was Alfred.
I was like, when I saw that, I was like, shoot.
We're having a pretty bad hit with the best of the celebrities lately.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, we're losing a lot of legends though, and with the way
And
things are now, I'm like,
what happened with Hackman was tragic.
uh-huh.
I mean, if you look at the final reports on what he and his wife went through and why,
Mm-hmm.
in fact, the fact that he died a week after her and he was stuck alone in the house, unable to get out during that time.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I was like, how the heck did that happen?
Because she had an infection. She didn't know how serious it was. So she passed from it. And because of how severe his medical and mental issues were getting, he couldn't take care of himself.
Yikes.
So literally, she actually died first. So he was stuck in that house alone for that long. It just breaks my heart.
So when that actually happened, they got the information incorrect?
Yeah, they thought there was all these possibilities of things that could have happened because there's a lot of things in it that were very sus. What it comes down to is she shut the dog off in the other room so she could put stuff away because it's the one that would always come after it. And she had a coughing fit and her lungs failed.
Damn.
And then everything else just snowballed. Gene and the dog couldn't get help.
Mm-hmm. Yikes.
And that just, it really does remind you, if you've got elderly relatives with these kinds of conditions, reach out to them often, check on them often.
Agreed. Because life is short.
That was Gene Hackman, actually, Sunflower, that happened with.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, when you look at the final report the police released on it, it's so tragic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because when I first heard about it on a few of the news media sites and then reading the article, I was thinking to myself, okay, something's amiss. It's either they're not sure about it or they're really, not being honest, that they don't really know, what the circumstances are.
Yeah, the first reports did not make sense, and they almost sounded like foul play the way they were saying it.
That was the initial thought I had as well when I was reading that. I was like, something's off here.
The final report they gave does actually make sense, but it's so horrific and tragic too.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, it is very tragic, and keep in mind, Val Kilmer just beat throat cancer. He just beat cancer.
Yeah, I just heard about
he
that.
He went through multiple bouts of it, coming up and down with him for years and years. Mm-hmm. And it just finally gotten a clean bill after multiple runs through chemo and almost removed and shit. Just basically to die when he got sick because of all the weakness from going through a decade of cancer.
Yeah, it's rough.
That's just heartbreaking.
I heard though, I don't know like how the media is actually putting it though, but they said that roughly before he passed away, that he actually put on the cowl one final time. The Batman cowl that he used in the film.
Really?
And like I've said to people, I know that Batman Forever is one of the movies people debate back and forth on how good it was or not.
Oh yeah, I would like to debate with those people. I would likely debate with those.
First of all, I love the movie overall. I still have issues with parts of it. There's things that I would have toned down all the freaking neon. First of all, it really detracted from the acting in it.
Oh yeah, that part I totally agree with.
But he was the best part of the movie, and if they toned down the neon and stuff some, people would have hit more with the emotion of his acting in it because he acted the emotion of the parts, both parts, Bruce and Bat, so well.
Yep.
Spank me. I think a lot of the people
you would play that clip.
I think a lot of people that bash on it blame it for Batman and Robin, which isn't fair.
Yeah, I totally find that kind of thing unfair.
And this is what happens when you win the argument.
For sure. Oh yeah. The one part that is one part of the film there's one part in the film that I love to cite, and probably some people have already noticed, but specifically, I'm going to go through the whole thing line by line if you don't mind. It's the part where Bruce is having that talk with Dick Grayson about revenge.
That part's heartbreaking. The other speech in it that
Mm-hmm.
absolutely melts me. I mean, besides him going through his memories of his parents dying in that scene
Mm-hmm.
and his going through remembering it, but the beginning, the speech that Two-Face gave when he was to the guy, and luck, blind, stupid, clueless, doodah, luck. After all those serious, deep moments,
Oh yeah,
it's
Tommy Lee
actually
Jones did that part
really
good.
profound.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, do yours.
So that part that I like the most is like when Dick goes, that he wanted to get revenge on Two-Face. He's like, so you're willing to take a life as long as it's Two-Face.
Mm-hmm.
Then it will happen this way. You make the kill, but your pain doesn't die with Harvey, it grows. So you run into the night looking for another face, and another, and another, until one terrible morning you wake up and realize that revenge has become your whole life, and you won't know why. You don't understand. Your family wasn't killed by a maniac. Yes, they were. We're the same. And I'll leave it at that.
I love that scene. But one of the other things is, I think they had in that what they failed to do well in every other movie. 'Cause every movie had some point where they tried to do something to earmark or throwback to the corny 60s stuff. And most of them, I think, failed. They did well with having him climb up on there and go, "Holy rusted metal, Batman!"
Oh,
What?
yeah. That part was funny.
It's all metal and full of holes, Holy.
Yeah, I remember that part. Oh, man.
And dreams of one day being bare naked with a girl.
Oh, yeah. That part when Riddler was kind of like going on about it, I was like, oh, man. I mean, despite
Would
the
it surprise you that I have that DVD in the other room too?
Oh, the same one? Oh, man. I gotta admit, though, kudos to the script writers on that. I mean, as slightly cheesy as that was, it was still good. I mean, Batman Robin was all right, but if I had to say...
No, Batman and Robin is a train wreck.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're being way too merciful. The worst Batman that ever existed.
Okay, and that part I can agree with.
And I like Alicia Silverstone. And her character was cringy as shit, the way she acted it.
Mm-hmm. I think it was just the script on that part.
Hell, my crush as a kid was Christopher O'Donnell. I didn't even like his part in Batman and Robin.
Okay, that part was true. The thing is, though, the only ones that I know that I know him in, probably you do as well, was those two Batman films and the Disney take on the Three Musketeers.
That's the movie that started my crush on him.
I see. Yeah. I remember reviewing that one once, but I will say that he did a really good job in that take on the Three Musketeers, even though most of us know there are other iterations.
He did really well the way they wrote that one.
Mm-hmm.
All the actors did really well the way they wrote that one. That one has more inconsistencies than most of the others. And while I don't like DiCaprio, they actually were very consistent to the books with The Man in the Iron Mask.
Oh, yeah. That one I need to look into. I
don't like DiCaprio, but he acted well in that one.
So most people say.
You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it yet. I know of it in passing.
It does go dark. It is the dark part of the Musketeers story. And they did it very much to the darkness of the book.
That sounds like right up my alley.
Watch it. I will recommend that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another movie that Chris O'Donnell did that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dear God. I usually hate romance movies, but it's so fucking funny because it's literally him trying to dodge romance the whole time. It's called The Bachelor. It's hilarious.
Uh-huh. Although now I think about it, though, since you mentioned about Prince of Egypt, it's been years since I've revisited that film.
Oh, by the way, when you rewatch Prince of Egypt, after that, look up on YouTube Jonathan Young, the guttural deep voice singer that does all the remakes of kids' movies songs, did an entire remake of the soundtrack to it.
Oh my goodness!
In rock and metal.
Nice.
Listen to his version of it. He fucking nailed it. And his version of the plagues, especially, where they're warring with each other during the plagues, spine tingling.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna look into that one.
The guttural part of "I will not let your people go." He does his deep guttural grime voice. He does his villains. Yeah, amazing.
I mean, the only other actor I recall from The Prince of Egypt was Jeff Goldblum, and he played obviously the brother.
And Martin Short and Patrick Stewart and Sandra Bullock and
oh man, that many.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to wrap my head as to how many great
Steve
actors
was in
it
it
has
too.
in that
He was
film,
one of the guys in it. The soothsayers of the pharaohs were Martin Short and Steve Martin.
Oh man, no wonder I didn't recognize their voices.
And the
I was a teenager when I watched it, though, to be honest, so I would recognize
the other tribe that Moses falls in love with and marries was Sandra Bullock.
Oh my goodness.
And this is telling you how much I like the Prince of Egypt, right? But the first pharaoh is Patrick Stewart.
Yep.
That is him.
Oh my gosh.
It's him.
I had a feeling that voice sounded familiar because
there's certain words he says that you can hear.
The part that stuck in my head, though, is like when he's berating the brothers. He said, "But one weak leak can break the chain of a mighty dynasty." That's him.
That's him.
Holy shit!
He also starred Skyhound. I'm about to break you even further.
I mean, you also had Michelle Pfeiffer in it.
Oh my gosh! I need to look into that again.
Yeah, Sandra Bullock was in it.
I would say in that era of the whole DreamWorks era and stuff like that. First of all, Val Kilmer was amazing in that movie.
Oh,
he was absolutely
amazing.
I forgot Danny Glover was in that, and Helen Mirren.
Nice.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Speaking of which, Skyhound, I'm about to break your mind even further. Patrick Stewart did star in a Studio Ghibli film, Nausicaa Valley of the Wind. That was him.
Oh my gosh. I remember borrowing that when I was back in my college years over at the school library when they had it.
And as much as we do not like Jada Pinkett Smith, we cannot deny her talent in Princess Mononoke. She did phenomenal with the characters she voices.
Wow.
I give my hat off to her for that one, but she's she's a piece of shit, but we're willing to at least grace her.
Separate art from artists at times. I don't believe in deleting somebody's entire artistic history because they're found out to be a piece of shit, because it also deletes other artists too.
I know this is going to spark debate, but where does Chris Benoit stand in this? Former WWE Wrestler, World Heavyweight Champion, 2004 Royal Rumble winner. Where does because
wrestling enthusiasts would know more about that than I would, to be honest.
Because if we're willing to separate this, why
don't delete things, no matter what I think of people that have been in it. I will not quit. I mean, okay, let's look at it this way. The same people who said never listen to these musicians because they were caught in these criminal acts before. A lot of the same people saying that still listen to things like the Mamas and Papas. And if you actually look at the stuff that their kids said that the father did to them with a lot of evidence, it's just as bad. In fact, the shit he did to his little daughters It's worse than the stuff that people say to never listen to R. Kelly and all them for. It's far worse if you look into what they said. So there's got to be a consistency line. Either you can't separate art from artist, or you can't. If you can't, and you have to remove things that had shady artists, Wizard of Oz is gone. Frank L. Baum was a monster and supported eugenics and genocide. Lewis Carroll collected naked pictures of his underage cousins. So Alice in Wonderland's gone. H.G. Wells was a eugenicist, so that's all out. There's a point where you have to decide, are you going to erase all art and history because of the flawed people, or are you going to look at it and then look at them and go, they were flawed, but they did this well?
Because I make the argument with Chris Benoit, because as a wrestler, among the greatest people I have ever seen perform in a ring, who isn't the Undertaker, John Cena, Triple H, or what have you. He was also, I believe, part of the SmackDown 6 with Edge, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, and a few others.
You're referring to the OGs of back in the day, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
And as a performer, among the greatest of all time. As a person, I don't know what the circumstances were. We really do not know what happened in that house. But one thing is factually clear. 3 people died in that house.
So, Anime, here, let me give you a comparison line for this. How many of you guys watch stuff with Christopher Walken?
Christopher Walken! Love
he was
him.
one of the guys on the boat with Natalie Woods when she died.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Damn.
There is a point where we have to decide where we stand on stuff. And do I think that the guys on that boat should have had charges, even if it was an accident, because of the negligence and how they handled it? Even if it was the accident they claim it was. Absolutely. But am I going to not watch anything he ever acted in? No. Am I going to go out of my way a bit to make sure that when I do, it doesn't give money to him? Yeah. You see the distinction? That's where it's difficult, because especially in Hollywood and entertainment and the literature, history and stuff, Henry Phillips had a song called Shoulder of Freaks. It expresses it quite nicely. It explains how all the way back to the Greek philosophers, those who have shaped philosophy, entertainment, and popular opinion were the most twisted, warped, demented, and psychotic people in history.
Well, that makes sense. That sometimes the ones who are not always following the traditional sense in terms of, jobs and, professions and the like, that usually, as they say, that the ones who go against the grain, but in a different manner, I know I'm kind of paraphrasing something here, but you get the point. They are sometimes the ones that make changes that other people will not only notice, but will find the impact that these people left behind.
And I would actually recommend you listen to that song. In fact, I'll see if I can find you guys the link for it. I also did tell you guys something in private chat, by the way.
Oh, did you have fun?
By the time we got to the show, I had been downtown Chicago for hours and was so ticky. It was I did get to talk to him a bit after the show, though.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
And get hugs. And unfortunately, the phone errored and I lost my picture with him, but he did freaking literally said, "Do you mind if I use the footage from this?" And I said, "Not really." And then he hugged me again. So,
how bad were you?
You might be
I
somewhere.
was in full sensory overload.
Oh
sensory overload.
no!
And the chairs in that theater were really bad, so they were pushing on my spine, which was causing stress up my back. So,
that.
So the chairs at the other one were a million times more comfortable.
The last two shows I went to were in eatery comedy clubs, so you were at actual tables. This was not. This was a hall, and they were really bad chairs. And the thing is that they were really narrow right up here, which is not a big deal for most people because most people, the hips and the butt are way down here.
Mm-hmm.
My hips are really, really high. So it was pinching the hip bones the whole time, every time I tried to sit back.
Yikes.
Yeah.
It made me tick a lot. And at one point, he was literally talking about why do people seem to assume that I'm the kind who would do coke, and I literally started ticking at him. It's your face.
Eagle Rider, holy hell.
Yeah, but the point was the response to that was, see, this is why I love people with Tourette's in my show. They're just saying what we're all fucking thinking.
There are definitely ones that get it, though.
He told this story involving him accidentally smashing a girl with Downs in the face with a ball when he was trying to throw him back to the family.
Mm-hmm.
And about time he's telling this story, he goes, now let's be honest, everybody. If you saw somebody you didn't know get smacked in the face with a ball, what would you do? And I start ticking laugh at the fucker.
Oh, Jesus Christ. God damn it.
So it was interesting. And if he does release the footage, I went with Steve. He is sitting in the seat next to me.
Goodness.
So my husband would be in it.
Oh, my goodness.
So,
Oh, man.
it was an interesting night. But
The good news
we've had
is,
a really
though,
rough
that
week.
with regards to the concert I'm going to next month, I just heard that the window for the ticket sales for the concert on the special screening, it actually opens next Wednesday. And thankfully, I already know that there's a few voice actors from the game who I know is going to be attending a panel on May 10th. In addition to that, I already pre-planned in terms of like getting specific merch, since thankfully a few of the items I plan on getting sent to my place to bring with me, I'm gonna have a couple of them signed, since two of, I think it's a total of maybe 6 of the voice actors are going to be there.
So here's one other for you guys.
Okay.
I want to try to go to another show late this year because there is somebody who's supposed to come to St. Louis area in fall. Who would I want to see that's from overseas anime that wasn't Luke Kidgel?
I say that we shouldn't use gendered sexual swear words, but those words are so expressive. We can't lose those words from our language just because some pricks are total pussies and want to fanny about being dicks because they can't hear the word cock without crying like a twat, the silly cunts.
I'm happy you told me to save that clip. I'm happy you told, because that actually saved my ass. That saved my ass.
Context: who is that comedian?
Jimmy Carr.
Oh,
it's Burns' mom. Oh, I love how you roasted that guy who didn't like his joke.
He's got
it's
some of
his
the
mom.
great. Oh, you got
Wow.
to check out his page right now. He has been posting constant crowd work from his last tours on his page, like almost daily. And holy shit, some of the stuff he says. Although I still think one of my favorite comments he makes to people is just, if you want my comeback, you'll have to scrape it off your mom's teeth.
oof!
I'm just kidding. She swallowed a lot.
Wow.
So Joker, let's cap off with what we've been sitting on all night.
Oh boy.
Okay. Wow. It's just.
So this is a 2-parter topic. Let me pull it up. New theatrical animated Flintstones, Tom and Jerry, and Looney Tune movies are officially in the works at Warner Brothers.
Good. Good.
Let me
Oh,
look something up here a
heaven's
sec.
sake.
Just hopefully don't burn down, destroy the studio.
And those ones are Meet the Flintstones, Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, Emily the Strange, The Lunar Chronicles, Cat in the Hat, Dynamic Duo, Bad Fairies, Margie Claus, Meerkat Manor, All the Places You'll Go, and Toto. Those are
I
the
see.
animated.
Good.
Those are the animated
Oh, for
films.
heaven's sake. These people never learn.
Uh-oh.
The wrong one.
I mean, like, do
Wow.
I even have to try and quote Thanos again, for heaven's sake? Goodness.
Actually, truth be told, I never heard about the Lunar Chronicles until now. Truth be
Fair.
told,
I'm just hoping if they're going to do these and they're going to do them as Looney Tunes movies, that could be done well, depending on how they approach it. But please stick to what they did for the last one. The only good thing about the crappy remake of Space Jam was that they actually had Speedy Gonzalez played by Fluffy.
Okay,
yes,
fair enough.
fine.
even though
Please
I
do
never
that
watched
for the
it.
rest of the new Looney Tunes stuff. Please.
so I'm actually excited. This also coincides, Joker. We
What?
fought
One floor.
the one we fought so goddamn hard for a year and a fucking half. Coyote versus Acme has
Yeah, I
officially
did
been-
hear about that one. Yes.
Finally.
and they bought the film for $50 million, and they're going to do a 2026 worldwide, keyword worldwide, theatrical release of this movie next year. So
Finally.
Oh man.
Finally.
we
Cautious optimism,
push.
but I hope they do it justice.
They will, because
Even if the movie ends up being bad, finally, it's in theaters. I saw it, made my own opinions. We finally got a chance to see this, and
yes,
to me,
Okay.
I really was on this when the production team they released their behind the scenes footage of all the B rolls, and I'm
Mhm.
like, this looks like a cool movie. Like, why won't you release it? And when WB copyrighted the video, that's when I went full blown. No, no. I get it's their movie. They want to shelve it, but come on. You got this awesome B-roll footage. Why not release the film? What's the problem? It's David Sal's tax credit and everything, so. But yay, their hard work is finally paid off. And a lot of them who worked on this also did work on The Day the Earth Blew Up, so that's even better. That's even better.
Hello, Callie. So yeah,
um,
I want to see this stuff come out. I'm all good with new Looney Tunes stuff as long as they don't try to make it all woke and whiny and not as rambunctious as it always was.
The
Yeah.
script also did leak, and on my phone I saved a few pages actually. This was
Ow!
legitimate looting.
You eat penis.
You sneaky little.
Ignore that, please.
I know, but this was legitimate Looney Tunes. Like you had Foghorn Leghorn was also in it as well, I guess, as the Acme CEO. So I'm like, no wonder why they're all failing. No wonder why their products are failing. You have Foghorn Leghorn as your CEO.
Okay, this should be.
I know what that courtroom scene's like with Leghorn. Like, how is he gonna address the crowd? No, I say, I'm already picturing it.
Say, boy, you're just a total fuck up.
Now I say, but why are you using our tools to capture this roadrunner?
Do you know what I'm doing right now, Anime?
what?
I'm editing pictures.
Nice. Hey, Big Angry Phil, what is up, buddy? What's up? Joker, I feel like that was a well-deserved win. You and me and many others, we have fought to get that thing to the like out there, like, hey, this ain't right. And August of last year, I called my shot. I called it. Kylie, if Marvel versus, if Looney Tunes The Day the Earth Blew Up did good, we're gonna get more. Surprisingly, it did good. It wasn't a failure. It just wasn't marketed properly. If it was marketed properly, it would have been at $25K right about now. But it just goes to show how much it just proves that fans really are the lifeblood of a franchise.
I sent you the picture I just finished editing.
Oh, that's cute. Big Angry Phil, that's funny thing. Good luck in the pinball tournament, buddy.
But
Good luck.
see, the servant waits while the masturbates.
Let's see if I can pull it up. Pull it up clearly.
Oh, come on. You should know where that quote came from, right?
Sorry.
That is at Custer State Park. Actually really close to where I took the picture of this guy. Meow. That's what a lot of the prairies areas do in fall, is the trees are evergreens, but the grasses all change different colors.
Huh.
This is really good.
That's one of my early photos, actually. I took that one in 18.
Ooh. Let me see. You
Wow. You eat penis.
That's really good. Let's see. Oh, hey, Sherry Clover, welcome to the stream. Sorry I can't stay up to apply to a job interview tomorrow. Good morning. Tomorrow morning. Good night, everyone. See you soon. Hopefully. Good luck on.
Best of luck.
Best of luck. We're pushing for you, buddy. Get that.
Push it good. I mean,
Get it.
Oh, speaking of which, Five Nights at Freddy's is out. Joker, please. Take it away, buddy.
Basically, if you're a fan of FNAF or not, this is the second movie, and this is doing game number 2. We still have the same characters, but we do see Mangle, Bunny, Funtime, Freddy, and it does look like these animatronics are definitely more. It should be good. If you're a FNAF fan and like the first film, you'll like this one. It will be out in December of this year. For one, I have played my fair share of the games. The stories can be so-so, but as Matthew Lillard said, the first movie was made for the fans, and if you're a fan, that's what you should be looking for. These aren't the most complicated movie, but it was only movie number 1, so I'm hoping it will be good, and hopefully they learned a few things too. And it has a lot of potential to still be good, but it could still be, well, you can enjoy if you're a FNAF fan. If not, it's not for you. But it's cool. It's cool to see that we're getting another movie.
Oh yes.
and I'm not a horror person, but I can still be happy for all the fans who are getting what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Exactly. I'm happy. I'm happy too, because we're getting exactly what we want. I mean, even though Joker and I have to wait one more year for Kylie versus Acme, but me and him, we have our wallets ready. We have our wallets ready. I'm gonna march over to the theater and watch it. I don't care how many people I bring. I'm half tempted to buy a blimp. I'm half tempted to buy a blimp and fly around the whole fucking state of Arizona with pamphlets for the Kylie versus Acme worldwide release in theaters. I'm half tempted to do that. I don't care how much debt I go into, it will be worth it in the end.
This is when I realize this looks dirty when I'm doing this like this. It's just a squeeze Pete toy. I was just going like this, going, that looks dirty.
But I'm excited for Five Nights at Freddy's. It's so funny to me, Joker. Working Man is actually making more money and they hit their 15 million threshold, and it's continuing to go up.
Wow.
Right.
Crazy times. Crazy.
Penis.
Just curious though, have you guys ever come across when you're playing certain games that you hear some like stuff that's like so stupid that there's some that just make um content on something that is unfounded, and then when say for example another patch comes in, it completely debunks everything that those clout chasers
Yeah, I've dealt with
made.
that. A lot of the people doing that are the same people who blackballed me from their channels, so they can go burn their channels down.
Mhm.
Wow.
And the funny thing that really makes me sometimes laugh at times,
Squeeze
even
it,
when I'm
squeeze it.
offline,
Feel them
is
nuts. Wow.
they keep saying, "Oh, they're not going to be, playing this game anymore because of this, this, and this." But 90% of the time, when they say that, we know they're still going to be playing it, regardless.
It's like all the people who supposedly were in the whole Duck Disney with me, but still paid to go on Disney vacations and shit, and went to opening nights and shit.
Exactly, right.
It's like I may have a bunch of Disney shit, but I wait for it to be clearance or in thrift stores, so they're not getting shit for it.
Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is, though, is that
Ow,
like
squeeze them nuts.
when it comes to certain movies, and you know how some people say that they're not going to be watching it. The funny thing is that like even though, like, I'll just give you guys a prime example. That 2016 crap Ghostbusters film. I have the digital copy. I've never watched it. Yes, there were a few times I did bash it a little bit, but just because I bashed it, there are people who would likely assume, oh, this guy's a digital copy. That means he's watched it. Did they even bother looking at the channel to begin with? Where exactly did I say I actually watched the film? I didn't.
And that's the other thing, is the fine line between legitimate criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the ads look like shit. The clips we've seen look like shit. Obviously, I see it as shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's legitimate. Whereas these people who literally sit there and do like mass reviews on shit they've never watched, it's like,
what's the point?
You didn't actually watch it. Granted, you could look at the ads and stuff and go, that looks like shit. But if you haven't watched it, you shouldn't do a review.
Exactly.
And if you're opposing a company and you don't want them to make money off this stuff and you don't want them to keep making this shit, stop going to it so you can review it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, squeeze it. Wow.
Hey Bacon, what's up, buddy?
Yeah.
So Joker, this just dropped. I know you're a huge Yakuza fan, so I want to hear your full opinion on this.
Okay.
Yakuza 0 director's cut announced.
So this is obviously the more definitive edition of the Yakuza 0, which came back out in 2014 for Japan, 2016 for American. So you'll figure out like the origin and how a lot of these people, at least for Kiryu Kazuma, got his name as the Dragon of Dojima, and this basically tells you what happened to Gojo Majima. If you play it like 3 and 4, he tells you the story a little bit, that this is what happened after a hit went wrong in my youth, and now I was kicked out of the Tocha, the clan, for a while. And so this is kind of like them setting things up for a lot of games. And so this is also a good callback if you played 1 through 5 at least, on what's going to happen to the story. So it's a really fun game series, and it's been picking up a lot of steam lately. And with the director cuts, there's new cutscenes, some more additional content to play the game, and finally, since probably Yakuza 7 they've been adding in English dubs for Yakuza 7, 8, and the 2 Judgment games, and now this is getting an English dub with the main cast of reprising the roles from what you can hear from the trailers a little bit. So this is a good starting point if you want to get into the series. Start with 0 or play any game you feel like playing. But I think this is a cool for this franchise. Re-release it on the Switch, and there's an English dub now, so pretty cool, and some additional cutscenes. So, but it should still be the same game from back in the day, so it'll be a lot of fun to play again.
Out of curiosity, Anime Night and Joker, either of you guys familiar with the video game franchise? I guess I could call it a franchise to an extent. That Lunar Silver Star games.
Wow.
Don't
I
Lunar Silver Star Complete Story.
Correct. Yes, that one.
No, this is the first time we hear.
no, I'm you could wow. Actually, it's bad when me and Joker are so silent that we both don't know.
Fair enough.
You know
I remember
it's
I
bad.
did.
My sound cut out for a little bit. I have no idea what you guys are talking about now.
No, it's just the fact of the matter was, I heard about it being redone for
remastered.
Nintendo
Yeah,
Switch.
the remastered collector's coming out.
What being redone? My sound literally cut out for like 20 seconds.
The game Lunar Silver Star Story started on the PlayStation 1. Now, since I just heard recently, not too long ago, thanks to Neon and Geeky Sparkles of Clownfish TV, since they seem to obviously know the game and like it, it's getting remastered and redone for the Nintendo Switch. The reason why I brought it up is that when I used to have a PlayStation Portable back in the day, the only entry that I was ever able to play was called Silver Star Harmony. Now, granted, I went through the entire game once, but I will admit that I did try to document certain bits of the game in case there were people that were still stumped on it. But mostly while I was playing that game, I was just guessing in terms of what steps I needed to take and then where to go from there in order to progress through the game. However, I will admit that my documentation skills weren't up to snuff. But since they are now releasing the game again for the Nintendo Switch, honestly, I'm hoping to at least be able to go through the entire saga itself to get a better understanding of the story, the characters, and why it is what it is.
As long as they stick to the original and don't change shit.
True, I totally agree with you on that.
Because too many of these remastered games are like changing storylines, or they're removing stuff they find offensive or other shit.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that isn't the case because, now you guys know. I already gave a quick shout out to Neon and Geeky Sparkles. I will let them know again later on that I only got a chance to play one of the games, but hoping against hope, cautious optimism that when they do it, they, just update the visuals. Leave the story as it is, but just update the visuals a little bit. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, Joker Skyhound, I don't know if you guys played this one, but here you go.
Honestly,
Go
ahead.
Radio Remaster adds Switch 2 version. It's by Atlas too. The Radio Remaster, The Mystery of the Soulless Army, for their new remaster of the 2006 action RPG. I'm excited.
I've only heard of that one in passing, and just by the title alone, that's about it.
So what I was starting to say is, because there's games I would not mind seeing really high-end graphics be touched on that are classic games, if I could trust the people that could do it. Like the original 4 Phantasy Star games. I would love to see with high-end graphics, the Alice Broadwin in full gorgeous detail slashing people down. stuff like that. You know?
Oh, are you referring to Fantasy Star Online?
No, the original games that weren't MMO bullshit.
Oh, that was before that. Okay.
The ones that I beat back on the Sega as a little kid.
Okay, yeah, that definitely sounds like before my time.
How old are you again?
Well, I'm around like 36. I was born late 80s.
Okay, so because those games came out right around late 80s to about 94, so they were complex RPGs, probably a little before your time, because I was kind of playing them a bit young.
Fair enough.
So yeah, Phantasy Star 4 was my favorite RPG, and the first one I beat fully on my own.
Okay.
And Alice Atwin was the beginning of the game's lead character that was leading the team, and she was an absolute mouthy as shit woman. And I would love, there's like one of the scenes in it literally is you're talking to this shaman at this tribe, and he's asking you what you want to know about. And one of his questions is, do you want to know about her? Says name. So you ask him yes. And he starts going on about how beautiful she is. And I believe her measurements are, and starts listing them, and then she clobbers him. There's a scene in the game where you're walking into a place to meet with somebody to get a job, and you can actually walk up to the table and ask the girls to dance for you at the dancing table.
Oh my goodness.
So,
Couldn't you see that with modern effects? That would be a great game.
Oh my
yes.
goodness.
So Joker,
Wow.
Skyhound, we have to talk about this because I'm just hearing this now, and I have concerns.
Okay.
This is the
You eat peanuts.
Give me
You
a
slut.
second. The Legend of Zelda live action film gets 2027 premiere date.
a little bit slow on this one.
Well,
Actually,
if you're wondering why I'm laughing my ass off, I have a book. I have
almost fell out of his chair. He almost fell out of his chair laughing.
I was just looking for April 1st on that. I was hoping.
Yes. And the funny thing
So
was
last year. So
I just found a tweet about it. Though, give me 1 second.
So like even last year,
my screen real
and
quick.
I'm making
Give me
this
1
movie as
second here.
well with the director of Kingdom: The Planet Apes potentially directing the movie, and I believe he is attached to this. Hopefully, he's attached to it still, because he said that if I'm going to direct this movie, it's going to be like watching a Hayao Miyazaki movie. Because to be fair, Zelda does take a lot of inspiration from Studio Ghibli. Let me look at the art style.
In terms of the design, or which part of it exactly would you say?
It does feel like playing a Ghibli movie. So I'm like, that is the right direction.
Okay.
There was also his attempt to get the Mouse Guard movie made, but you get to see some of the still and images from the VFX work. So it's like, oh, so this looks pretty cool. So, but my big issue with all this, with this being made in live action, one, I would prefer Kyoto Animation working on this, or if Ghibli did make a Zelda movie, that would take them many, 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 many years to complete. So I prefer more animation than live action.
Yeah, I don't like video game adaptations that are live action. It's so rare for them to not suck like nuts.
The Sonic one, the Super Mario, the Mario Bros movie, the Sonic one are the only two to actually make it work. And
I think the Sonic movies as a general have done it, but
yeah, it worked.
It's so rare, and live action very rarely will work with it because of the abilities and limitations of live action. It'll never be the same as animation, no matter how much technology we get. So it's just
like the Mortal Kombat movies.
I mean,
Mortal Kombat movies and Street Fighter movie and live action suck nuts.
Well, the 1995
although the Street Fighter 2 animated movie in the early 90s was fucking beautiful, and I know so many guys who hit their sexual curiosity hard when they saw Chun-Li in the shower.
Yep.
Oh, that's the part where Vega comes in and attacks her. I remember that part.
I have that movie's collector disc.
Speaking of which, Joker, real quick, Wes Ball is serving as director.
Good. So he is attached.
Okay.
So that's
Yep,
the
and the Zelda creator Miyamoto and Avi Adra, chairman of Arad Productions Inc., will serve as producers. So he's gonna have the creator himself with him. So that's
okay. Good.
so this
It's
is
more
looking.
hopeful.
More hopeful.
It's actually hopeful news that we can work with while we're breaking this down and everything. So I could safely say this is hopeful news, and we got and I'm looking optimistically forward to this.
I'm still cautiously optimistic, as I often say about everything. So, as much
But
as I
this
want
is a
to see
step.
it,
But this is a step in the right direction, though.
okay.
But now my main concern is who in the world are they going to get to play all these different characters?
Mhm.
Like Zelda and Link and Ganon. Those are my main
You know,
concern.
Bunch of slots.
Joker, since you just brought that up,
Yep.
I did come across a screenshot that another YouTuber, quick shout out to Lawrence LG Gilmer,
Oh, hold on, let me
he
remove
found
mine. Add
something,
yours.
this, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And then I
who
obviously had
thinks-
to ask the question, is that a dude or a guy? And then he kind of explained, he kind of answered to me right there. I'm like, oh,
who
I didn't know until I asked. And I'm like, do these people realize that both Zelda and Link are opposite? Not to mention that in the games, Link starts out small, but then through the process of time, he eventually, grows up in a sense.
Yes.
I mean, I remember going through Ocarina of Time back on the N64 back in the day, and
Ocarina.
Wow.
I probably beat that one maybe like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times. But I won't lie, that when it came to fighting Ganon's final form, oh my gosh, that guy was a tricky dude. Tricky.
Tricky Dicky Slicky. What a slut.
I remember fighting
Um,
Ganon and Twilight Princess really hard. Pretty cool boss.
Oh my gosh. That one was crazy. I remember when I was doing that on the Wii. My gosh. I thought, I mean, if you want to but then again, to put certain games in perspective, there are those who have fond memories of the sequel to, I mean, the one after Ocarina of Time, which I never got a chance to play. Is the sequel to that, is the one after that, because I didn't have the equipment for it. The thing is, there are fans of that particular game who would say that in terms of boss fights, whatever that one is, they say that even that one's harder compared to Ganon, arguably speaking.
That will be Majora's Mask, which was the sequel
Yes.
to Ocarina. But they got it out within a year. So it's like,
Mhm.
eesh.
Yeah, I've heard stories though. They said that some of those ones were even harder than Ganon, arguably. I mean, the only way
this
I'd
is
be able to
gonna be
figure it
another
out is
deal.
by
We'll have
watching
to wait and
gameplay.
see
That's about
who
it.
they'll get. Hopefully, they pick people who have played the games at least, or look
Mhm.
close enough to.
Hopefully.
Don't put Seth Rogen. Keep that fucker
Oh my
away.
god.
Don't
That
Keep
dude is
him away.
that dude is a flipping curse. for
grab my
heaven's
master
sake.
sword and say, "Change it now."
Oh my gosh.
He
I mean,
he
most
was
of us
he
know that
was
guy's a curse.
fine. He was fine as Donkey Kong. He was fine
Mhm.
because he didn't have any power to do anything, to say anything. Because I'm glad the director stomped his shenanigans out the door. Like, no, we're doing this right, and you're gonna play ball. As long as you can keep him away from the director chair, we're fine.
Good point.
But anything else, though, no. Keep Seth Rogen away.
Mhm.
We already have Mark Hamill and King of Kings already, so it's like, ugh.
You'd think some people would learn. I mean, we already have the evidence with regards to not just mental instability, but also extremely fat excuse the pun there, toxic egos of some of these
Yes.
actors. Like it's
Yeah.
arguably immeasurable at this point.
I mean, it's bad enough that Joker and I spend like probably $60, give or take, to
Mhm,
meet some of our favorite voice actors, which, with reverence and respect, that we do love to meet and enjoy. We get fun.
mhm.
Ain't no fucking way I'm gonna spend my entire paycheck on a Mark Hamill autograph. Get the fuck
Yeah,
out of
you'd have
here.
to be
Get the fuck out of here.
there is no way. I mean, in my case, it's either autographs or, pictures and the like. But there are times where, now that I think about it, I mean, there's certain ones I'd like to meet, but at the same time, if I recognize that some of these ones have, done a lot more roles, you can bet your bottom dollar that certain ones will have long ass lines. So it kind of depends, but as a friend of mine once said, that when it comes to certain
Very long time
conventions,
to inherit this move.
depending on where you go, always treat them like a battlefield. Always, no matter where you go. That's the advice my best friend gave me when it comes to certain conventions. Always treat it like a battlefield.
Yeah. But well, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Joker, I'm gonna set up the watch party for tomorrow. I'm gonna run one more test with the new DVD of Black Cat and probably play an episode of it, like the previous episode, and run it through and see what happens.
Yeah.
I will update you as much as we can. Eagle Rider, thank you for coming on by and hanging out with us and everything. We had so much fun tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Please comment down below what you think of all the news that we do. What ones stood out to you the most? What ones didn't? Check out Skyhound's channel. Check out Sound Joker. Check out everybody that comes along. You guys have been amazing tonight. We killed it on Twitter. Actually. Holy
Oh yeah,
shit.
in my case though, like I said in the comments, I am definitely going to be watching Tombstone for the first time tonight, and then most likely tomorrow I'll be
Hey.
giving my general thoughts on it.
Have you
Considering,
watched Thunderheart before?
I've heard certain fans bring up that film though. That's definitely going to be on my list of films to watch.
Watch it. It's less a hit with the fans that want action stuff because Tombstone was more, but Thunderheart is heavily based in the things that were happening in the AIM movement during my mom's youth with my tribes. And he actually spent a lot of time on the res where my family is and interacting with them to film it.
Okay, I'll put it on the list.
So it's a very beloved to the family. Like I said, everybody in his family believed that they were native, that he was native, but they couldn't prove it because of lost records and stuff, adoptions and movements. And that's how most of these cases hit. It's the same reason why I'm actually not agreeing with the debunking of Buffy Marie, because both families said she's native. The parents that took her back in said she was the kid taken from them, and a lot of people's birth records were altered during those forced adoptions.
Oh dear.
So it's like they're basing this on a birth record, but they changed those on a lot of these kids during that era. It's like, and they're going, well, she's a fake. It's like, why would she fake when every single time she spoke out about being native, she was blackballed and actually lost millions?
Yeah, that's messed up.
That doesn't make sense.
That's totally messed up.
And they're stripping her of everything, claiming she's fake. They did it to John Two Hawks, and he is fucking Lakota. And the tribe has already given him membership. So there's a stigma to a lot of tribal people that they're being fake claimed, even though they're documented and known, or because of lack of records. And that was the issue with Kilmer. Is he looked very native, just paler. His family believed fully that there was but there's a lack of records, and several tribes gave him honorary membership.
Well, and also
because of all he did for the tribes.
And in certain photos, him with the long hair, you kind of see it from like in different poses and everything, and the up close shots.
Does
you
he not
kinda-
look like he's got a little of the same
kinda
lineage?
does when you really like the well, it also depends on the lighting too. Like it depends on the lighting, but
Mhm.
there are certain cases where he does look it though. You can just
Yeah.
tell.
He's got the
Mhm.
facial. He had the facial structure and the body build. He just didn't have the really dark color. But even his color wasn't quite European. He's a little more red and brown than most European.
Mhm.
So I do think he was at least part.
Yeah, that would
Yes.
make sense.
Yeah.
This isn't the open panel shows, Kermit,
Um.
and we're
Well, yeah.
wrapping up too.
Yeah, we're wrapping up, but but I'll be live for Sunday for Nights of the Anime Table. We'll see you there. Eagle Rider, we love you.
Take a week
Good.
off.
Good luck. No, oh, actually, no, correction. Not this Sunday. Not this Sunday. I will be in Comic-Con in 48 hours. I will be careful.
Mhm.
I'll behave. I know there's a lot of sexy cosplayers, but I know when
Mhm.
to ogle and when not to be touchy.
Mhm.
Sure.
And frapping and
See,
frapping.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is when you have to be jealous of my ticks because I can walk around whistling at people and calling them sluts and nobody says a word.
If I had Ribero's ability to switch genders or Robma one half, I would fucking do it for
There was
one
also
day.
There was also the wonderful moment when Luke asked
Hey,
the guy in
Gerald
the front
Shaw,
row
what's up,
here
buddy?
what he does for a living, and I started ticking fuck all at him.
So
And then the guy goes, "I'm retired," and I'm sitting there going, "I was right."
so
But yeah, like I said, Anime Night. When it comes to wanting to meet certain ones or particular vendors, but mostly when it comes to meeting certain actors, voice actors, what have you, or certain celebs,
sorry.
or even content creators, do try to keep this in mind though. Treat it
Okay,
like
I
a
was.
battlefield.
You probably don't put that in chats because YouTube does run mods through the chats sometimes. If they catch certain slurs, they will ban your channel if you've said them in chats.
Mhm.
Just to protect yourself, don't say it.
Yeah. But I
But
understand.
making fun of yourself is fine.
Yeah. But I do understand, Skyhound. I do understand you are correct too.
Because on certain schedules, though, there's certain ones that happens at certain times, or even panels that you want to go to. It's sometimes not that easy to actually, plan certain things because certain things will eventually become out of your control. But if there's certain ones, as I recall correctly, no matter no matter when it comes to anime conventions or other types, from my memory, very often they have arguably quote unquote the big guns, put bluntly, the big events happen more often than not. Correct me if I'm wrong. It happens more on a Saturday than it does a Sunday.
You're
Yep,
fine, Fire.
because
I just wanted
Saturday
to
when everybody's
warn
here.
you so nothing happens to you. Also, Anime, look in private chat a sec.
Some of the big stuff does happen on Saturday.
He literally almost did a full spit take and turned and looked at me like, and then started joking about
Yeah,
it.
because
the big gatherings, depending on per con or some of the big panels or night concerts that they do put on for live performers. So they do happen on a Saturday night. You'll see some stuff on Friday night. But
yeah, there are times where I think depending on the conventions, it's either a Thursday or a Friday. That's often day one, and then you have ones where it's day 0 as well. You have those days as well.
Like the one I go to, Thursday is always day 0 for everybody. So you'll see some people slightly wear stuff, and then you'll see the big reveals the next day. Or just kidding.
I have an idea what I'm gonna be doing though. I know who I'm gonna go meet. The plan's all finalized. I'm ready to go. So guys, this is the post-con. This is the post-con. I mean, the pre-con Knightcast. Tomorrow night's the watch party at 7:15. We're continuing Black Cat. We're gonna be doing episodes 4 through 7. Very exciting news. And also we're gonna have that big discussion afterwards. Tune in tomorrow. The watch link will be posted in the chat. It'll be the highlighted comments. It'll be the highlighted one. So make sure if you see it, you want to join in, you're free to do so. There's a limit of 10 people, but hey, we've had way more, a lot of weirder stuff happen here.
Mhm.
We're gonna get out of here. Take care, guys, and thank you for making all of this possible. I humbly thank you guys. Stay tuned, guys, for more.
You eat
We'll see you
penis.
next soon.
Wow.
Bye, guys.